Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Flying Cat Marketing video and podcast series. I'm Mavis Fuentes, your host, and I'm reporting to you once again from the Flying Cat Marketing Barcelona headquarters here during the lockdown. Today we have a very special episode because we're going to be talking to Ugljesca Djuric, who is head of content and growth at a company called Lempire. So this is a startup that contains three different SaaS companies: Lempod, Lemtalk, and Lemlist. They're a bootstrapped company that went from 0 to $1 million in ARR, annual recurring revenue, in just under 2 years without any funding. So we're going to be talking about how they use their content strategy to do that and exactly how they build their content strategy to do so. If you like this episode, please give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to my channel. So let's dive in. How long have you been with Lemlist actually?
So I've started working with, the overall name of the company is Lempire.
Lempire, yeah.
Yeah, because we have a couple of brands, Lemlist as the main one, and Lempod and Lemtalk as the secondary ones. I've started working with Lempire in the August last year. And my first role was as the head of growth for the Lemtalk. So Lemtalk is essentially the live chat that's fully integrated into Slack. But then, like after 2 or 3 months, Lemtalk was the least important project for us. So then we decided to allocate resources, and they moved me to Lempod.
Okay.
Lempod is new and one very hot product. I don't know if you're aware of it, but
Lempod, yeah, I know that about it. It's very
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty great and it's growing like hell. And I was there helping Ilya with user acquisition. My main part was SEO, content marketing, backlink building, and the other things that I'm doing pretty well. Essentially, I was there at Lempod around 3 or 4 months. Then I really helped Lempod to grow its organic traffic and SEO rankings, and then they moved me to Lemlist because it's the most important project after all. So basically with Lemlist, I'm like 5 months now, but with the overall company around 10 months, I think, or something like that.
Okay, cool. So I know that before I've talked to Guillaume, it must have been almost a year ago, and he was doing all the content at that time.
Yeah.
I think it was last spring that I talked to him. And so how have you, when you got on now, what's your role in the content strategy? Are you doing everything?
Yeah, well, essentially my part is 95% of the content work. So there is still sometimes that Guillaume or Vuk, our head of growth, writes some article. But essentially I'm the one who created the entire content strategy and who is executing it with writing. Distribution is not like some big part of my time right now, because we already have a lot of predefined channels like our own community on Facebook, Guillaume's LinkedIn profile, and everything else. So I'm not involving too much there. I'm more on the content writing side, arranging guest blog posts, writing guest blog posts, backlink building, and managing the partnerships with other different brands we have around content and other stuff like that. But basically, it's like 95% of the entire content job.
And what is it? How often do you kind of refresh the content strategy or sit down and plan out the keywords? What does it look like when you sit down and plan a strategy?
Yeah, well, essentially, we shifted from one strategy to another like 2 months ago. The first one was to, let's say, edit the current articles and make them more optimized for the keywords, and to continue writing like other articles. But the problem was that Lemlist is in a very competitive marketplace, and a lot of those like main keywords are very hard to rank. So I decided to change everything, and we've decided to go with another one. That another strategy is like based on two things. So the first one is content writing, and the second one is backlink building. So essentially what we are doing, because I really like to focus on one thing at the time, and then we made a deal to like dedicate 1 month to content writing, just content writing, and then another month for backlink building. And on this way we have the balance, and it helps me to stay super productive and to bring more results than to have like the mixture of both in 1 month and everything else. So what we are essentially doing, we are now writing content for only for the long tail keywords.
Okay.
And then in another month, when we are building backlinks, we are giving our best to rank them in the top 3 results on Google. So essentially, like the keyword cold email templates is super hard to rank. But there is like 15 other keywords like cold email templates for web design agencies, cold email templates for influencer outreach, and other things that have a decent search volume, like around 100 to 150 people per month, but they're easier to rank. So that's kind of our strategy right now, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, to answer on your question, essentially we are changing strategies when we think that we can do better. Even if we are satisfied, I mean, all of us at Lempire have that growth mindset, and we are always pushing ourselves to think, how can we do something better? How can we optimize some process better? And that's the moment when we are pivoting from one strategy to another, when we feel that we can do something better. And yeah, essentially. So there are no some, let's say, time factors like every 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's essentially when we, like I said, feel that we can do something else.
So right now until you decide to change strategies, you're doing 1 month writing, 1 month backlinks, 1 month writing, 1 month backlinks, and that's how you're going to continue. Okay, interesting. And how do you decide on what topics to write about? I know that you guys have that Facebook community and you have a lot of conversation going on there with your clients. Well, actually, I'll just let you say.
Yeah, well, essentially, yeah, we are looking at our community. But the thing is, I'm sometimes more SEO oriented. So even though some article can be valuable for our customers, sometimes that type of articles don't have some like SEO benefits. And in that case, I'm either skipping those articles sometimes, or either sending them to Guillaume or someone else. And I'm focusing only on the articles that can bring SEO effects right now, because SEO is the channel that we are trying to conquer. So when it comes to how are we choosing the articles, on the other side, we are also, I mean, basically it's everything in the keyword research.
What tool do you use for keyword research?
We are currently using Mongols. Mongols, yeah. It's a pretty great Ahrefs alternative. I mean, from my side, as the content guy who spent like last 5 years in content and SEO, from my experience, Ahrefs is one of the best tools out there, without any doubt. And Mongols is a pretty great and very simple to use Ahrefs alternative. It's not that great for backlink building, like Ahrefs, but then our backlink campaigns are somehow different. So that, let's say, separation between Mongols and Ahrefs doesn't have too much sense for us. But when it comes to monitoring your keywords and doing keyword research, Mongols, it's pretty great. And essentially, like I said, everything is in the keyword research. When I'm doing keyword research, there are 2 parameters that I'm looking for. of course, I mean, there is also search volume, but it doesn't have like some great, it's not so important, let's say. I mean, of course, I won't write article for the keywords that has zero search volume, but I want to say that it's same for me, either it has like 300 or 3000. And to get back on the point, there are two parameters that I'm looking. One is domain authority of the websites that are ranking on the first page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that's in Mongoose already, let's say, evaluated. So that's like presented in the forms of the keyword difficulty, something like that. And the other one is the number of pages or Google that are trying to rank for that keyword. So sometimes some let's say keyword can have a keyword difficulty of 15 from 100, which is in Mongoose like super easy to rank for. But also when you check in Google, it has like 10,000 pages trying to rank there. And then it's like really hard. Even though the keyword difficulty is low, it can be really hard to rank on the first. And then I'm like trying to balance between those two things and finding the best keywords. So essentially that's it.
And okay, so let's talk about link building.
Okay.
What does your link building strategy look like? How do you find the pages that you want to link back to you, and how do you actually get them to give you the link to respond to your email?
Okay, so basically how I find pages. I'm super simple when it comes to that. So broken link building, resource pages, and everything else, those strategies have a tendency to be like super hard and time consuming. And I don't like things that are not scalable. So what I'm essentially doing, I'm just identifying articles on the web that are talking about some similar subject, where my article can be a nice fit and addition. So essentially, for example, if I want to build backlinks to the article that's essentially like cold email outreach guide, for example, I would search for the articles that are talking about best cold email templates, for example. So because you see, those two topics are correlated between each other. And mainly because of that, there is a high chance of linking back to my article. Then how I actually build backlinks, well, everything is in the outreach. So, I mean, you saw one of my most converting templates ever. I reached out to you as well. Yeah, it worked. So yeah, essentially that template is one of my best. Last month, that template like had around 80% open rates and reply rates of around 45%.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I managed that. I remember that only from that, I managed to build around 80 backlinks, something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And essentially, like, you solve the template, you can later share it with your audience. But what I think is the most important when it comes to backlink building through outreach is that no one, or let's say rarely who, will give you the backlink just because he wants you to give the backlink. You see, I think that casual outreach emails like, hey, I saw your article about that, I really liked that, and that, can you please mention my article there? I think that they're not working.
No.
At least they didn't work for me, because I, as the sender, I'm not providing value to the other side there. And they also need something in return. I mean, you saw that email I sent to you. It's like it's pretty straightforward. You know, I asked you at the beginning from the backlink, and I said you from the beginning that I will give you something in return, and that plus I will give you more than you gave me. So essentially, that's one thing that I think that a lot of people who build backlinks are missing. I mean, it's a simple trade. You give me
Yeah.
backlink, I will give you something else. I will give you like backlink from the other side, or sharing our newsletter, extended trial, or something else, whatever. I will just give you. So basically, that's it. A lot of my email templates are based on that, and also a lot of my emails are based on personalized images.
Mm-hmm. With the dog.
So yeah, so basically, yeah, you saw one of the best is my image with my dog Zoe. But I also have other ones, like for example, when I want to write guest blog posts, my first email I send is not mentioning guest blog posts at all. It's just a simple question. Hey, first name, Ugi here, huge fan of your content. To prove it, here is the image of me with your article, and then it's like the image of me and my laptop, and lemlist uses the screenshot to personalize every image. And then just the question, is this the right address for the editorial inquiries? And when they respond to me, I say then that I want to write guest blog posts. If they don't respond to me, then I pitch them my subjects and so on. And for example, that's also something that helps me to arrange a lot of guest blog posts on different websites. So basically, when it comes to templates, that's it. Personalization is a huge factor there. Me, myself, I'm lazy to dig different information about people, so I can personalize the emails better. So I'm using personalized images. And I think that they are building quite a great relationship. As we can see, this podcast is the result of that.
Yes.
And essentially, when it comes to the outreach, it's also important, like, to provide value. And there is one thing that a lot of people are missing out, and that is that no matter what type of cold email you write, either for sales, backlinks, SEO content, whatever, that email needs to be about your recipients, not about you, not about me, not about anyone else, but about them. And that's something that a lot of people misses out.
Yeah. I have a question. So if we could just email people asking them to throw a link into the blog post they've already written, which seems like a lot less work than writing a whole guest blog post, why also try to write guest blog posts as a backlink strategy?
Yeah, so there are several reasons for that. The first one is that I'm always avoiding to write guest blog posts on low authority websites and websites where I can't find my target audience. So the one reason is like building reputation and let's say my personal or the company brand. I think that guest blog posts are a great way for that, and that they are a great way for showcasing our expertise. Another one, let's say less important, because I never quite had some great results with that, is that guest blog posts can bring you some traffic. But I think, and I saw a different studies that's pretty rare. And essentially, yeah, that's the backlink thing there. Why I write guest blog posts is, like I mentioned you in the previous email, you need to give something when you're doing backlink outreach campaigns. You need to give something to the other people, and in like 80% of cases, the people where I build backlinks, and you did as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They're asking for the backlink in return. And since I'm not quite a big fan of direct link swap between two websites, I think that in the long term it can be like really harmful for both websites. I'm offering them links from other domains.
Yeah, on the guest posts that you write.
Yeah, on the guest blog posts. So basically, that's one thing. Guest blog posts helps me to like hold my deal and to give my prospects something. And also, like I said, there is that personal branding, company branding, reputation thing there. So, and for, of course, it's sometimes really big honor to write for big brands, such
Absolutely.
as BigCommerce, HubSpot, and others. So, yeah.
Cool. So what you had to offer when you sent me that email template, which I'll include a picture of it in this, but it was, I mean, you already had kind of the power in your brand to be able to offer me something in return. So it was either a month trial to lemlist, or it was, that you can give me a link on another website with a DA of over 40. But what if I'm just a brand new brand with no authority, no connections, no partnerships? What can I offer in return? And I have noticed that a lot of people in backlink outreach, they just ask for money. They ask you to pay them. What do you do?
Yeah. Essentially, I never paid for a backlink, and I think that I never will. Now, when I mentioned that, I was laughing so much a couple of days ago. I was doing I was actually doing a guest post outreach for one of my clients. And one of the websites there was jeffbullas.com. And the prices to publish article there are like very crazy. So it's thousands and thousands of dollars just for writing an article. But actually, yeah, I never paid for a link, and I never will, because like you probably know, in that case, there is not too much of that SEO juice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically not worth it. But when it comes to your question, there are a lot of things that smaller brands can leverage. So yeah, like I'm offering extended trial of lemlist, but to be sure, no one ever chose that. I'm also offering like share on my LinkedIn, where I approximately have around 20,000 viewers per post. I think that like 2% choose that. So basically, a lot of them are asking for backlink in return, and they like. I mean, you can put there whatever you want. You saw that, like for example, the last thing I offered right there in my email was my eternal gratitude, for example.
How many people choose that?
Yeah, a lot of them actually. Yeah, so you haven't, I think that you haven't seen the follow-up, right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. You mean like you send me an email and I don't respond and then you would follow up? Yeah, no, I didn't get that because I responded.
Yeah, okay, so basically in that follow-up, I mean, the like intro sentence was something like, I'm sad to hear that my email wasn't funny, engaging with you, or something like that. And I actually offered them something else, which also no one ever took, but it's like a good thing to say. Since I'm in the SEO space, I offered them like free keyword research of like 20 keywords or something. Okay. Just something to nudge them to think about what I said in the last email. But basically, you can offer whatever you want. You can offer backlink from guest blog posts. You can offer like your eternal gratitude. You can offer a free sample of someone you're good at. Whether if you're SaaS tool, whether small or big brand, I think that you can always like offer a extended trial, or like, especially if you're the small, you can perhaps offer the like 3 month trial or something like that. Because if you're the small tool, it's important for you to get your feedback, learn on your customers and everything else. So that can also be like some good acquisition channel. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can offer actually.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say like place in your newsletter, but then I remembered that small brands don't have a big newsletter.
Yeah, they probably don't have that much following. And I'm thinking also now, what if I sent an email saying I'll give you a backlink on guest blog posts, and then 100 people reply and say, okay, yeah, I want my link on a guest blog post. How is that? How can you do that at scale? Because now you have 100 guest blog posts to write and reach out to. Well, I guess you could put a few links in one.
Well, essentially, like when I'm writing guest blog post, like I'm usually writing on the websites with high reputation, and those websites really like linking to other websites. I mean, they're aware that outbound links are also an important part of the SEO. And like every guest blog post I write, I put around 3 to 4 lemlist links. I put around 2 or 3 partner links, because we have like 5 or 6 partners, other SaaS companies, and we are mutually linking back to each other from our guest blog posts. So that's another way how we are building like around 15 to 20 backlinks on scale, I mean passively, every month. And then I like put 6 or 7 links to other people from the outreach campaign. Basically, when I'm doing outreach, I'm doing 2 things. One is writing guest blog posts, and the other one is the outreach. When it comes to the backlink building outreach, technically the biggest job there is to find a list of prospects.
Yeah.
And that's something that takes like 90% of the entire backlink building outreach time. So once you do that, you just have to write your campaign, import contacts, click send, and that's it. So basically, in the meantime, while I'm getting replies, that month I write around 4 to 5 guest blog posts, and on that way I managed to put links there. Since I'm also on the side founder of the content marketing agency like you, I also have access to a lot of other brands and blogs. So sometimes if I really can't, if I really can't give backlink from one of the lemlist scores, I use one of my client websites. But that's rare. That's rare. But yeah, pretty much that's it. Guest blog posts. I mean, there are really a lot of. I know I was writing a guest blog post where I put like 30 different links inside there. I mean, those are relatively
long, no?
Sorry?
Do they have to be super long to put so many links in it?
Yeah, I mean, those articles are relatively longer, but essentially, like the vast majority of articles I'm writing is around 2,500 to 3,000 words. So there is a lot of space for that.
Cool.
I mean, one link takes approximately 1 or 2 words when you put in the anchor. And like on 2,500 words, that's not so like, you can't notice a lot of links that easily.
Yeah. So also, I just have one last question about your keyword research when you're writing posts for lemlist, because lemlist is about cold email outreach. So how many how do you decide on the keywords? I mean, how many different posts can you write about cold email outreach? Or
With this new strategy, I am usually writing one shorter article around 1,500 words for 2 or 3 similar but different long tail keywords. And when it's the month of writing, that's the time when I publish around 20 articles. Yeah, because like I said, those articles that are trying to rank for the long tail keywords, they are shorter.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to rank, and when the keyword is cold email templates for website design, there is not too much to talk about.
Yeah.
There is like showcasing like 4 or 5 different templates, shortly explaining why each of them is great, and pretty much that's it. So basically, yeah, when it's the month of writing, I publish around 20 articles, targeting around 30 to 35 keywords. Depends on the keywords, of course. But yeah, in the previous strategy, some, let's say, goal was to publish around 4 articles on the lemlist blog, 2 or 3 guest blog posts per month, and to build around 20 to 30 backlinks each month.
Now you can focus better because it's divided.
Yeah, now I can focus better.
So in the month where you write 20 articles, how much of that month how long do you spend doing keyword research?
Let's say like less than 1 day.
A day, yeah.
Yeah, and it's usually the day in the previous month.
Yeah.
So I mean, like 5 to 6 hours to identify really, really great and very easy to rank 30 to 40 keywords. Around 5 to 6 hours, because when you go to like when you are checking how many pages are trying to rank for that keyword and all that kind of stuff, it knows to be a little bit time consuming. But essentially around 5 to 6 hours.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna cut it there because it's been about half an hour now, and yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything to add? Where can people find you actually if they want to connect with you?
Yeah. Did you stop recording?
I didn't stop recording.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, people can find me on LinkedIn. I hope that you will put a link in the description, because my full name is super hard to pronounce.
I have you on LinkedIn, so I'll throw that link in there.
Yeah, people can find me on LinkedIn. I'm not using Twitter that much. I know it's like a go-to network for marketeers, but I'm not quite a big fan of it. People can also find me on the Instagram, but I'm not sharing a lot of business-related stuff there. But pretty much LinkedIn is the best option for reaching me, and for like getting in touch with me, checking my content and everything else. So yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, we mentioned. We said that we will mention my book that's coming soon.
Yeah, let's talk about your book.
Yeah, well, in short, I'm planning to publish it in like 5 to 6 weeks on Amazon. First 1 or 2 days, I think it will be some lower price, like $0.99 or something like that for Kindle version. But after that, it will go a little bit higher. And essentially, the book is called The Show Jumper Marketing Framework.
Okay.
Show Jumper because of 2 things. My agency is called Content Horse, and I really like horses and riding them. And the other thing, when you take a look at the analytics for your website. If that framework is implemented correctly, you will see that your analytics are going like this. So it's like the show jumping, essentially. But in a nutshell, the book will talk about the exact process I'm using to get Google rankings fast for a lot of different clients like lemlist, userpilot, Poptin, and a lot of other popular SaaS brands. And essentially, I will talk there about a couple of key pillars of every successful content marketing strategy. And those 4 or 5 pillars are content strategy, keyword research, writing, distribution, and backlink building. And I'm actually going to write step-by-step processes with a lot of screenshots and explanations of everything what I'm doing through the entire process. I will even include the distribution there, which is something I'm honestly avoiding to do for my clients, because it's a little bit tricky. They need to give me access to their LinkedIn accounts, their emails, and I had some negative experiences in the past. So it's something I started to avoid. I mean, I can consult, but me and my team are not doing that. But essentially, the main parts will be on that. How are we building links? How are we finding people? How are we writing emails? And of course, how the most important thing is that our secret keyword research process that helps us to find keywords where we can rank first in month or month and a half.
Oh, awesome. I'm going to have to buy that.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know when it's out, and I will also share it. Well, thank you so much. And
thank you very much for hosting me here.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Flying Cat Marketing Series. If you enjoyed this interview, please give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned, because next week I'll be interviewing another leader in the SaaS and startup world, talking about their challenges and achievements. See you there.